Ciao, welcome to Epiphany number 39, which is Fortitudine, Vincimus. And that is, of course, Latin for the phrase, by endurance we conquer. So this one is really, it's an interesting epiphany because it's one that is a little bit obvious. It's one we've all heard in some form or fashion since we were kids, probably, whether it's sports or our parents or school. And yet I've also found at the time of this video, my 29 years of being in sales management, at least to some various degrees, less so in the beginning, is that very few people actually follow this. And it's tough. It's been tough for me as well. I will say that sometimes I jokingly and not so jokingly say the single biggest element of my success is I just didn't quit. And it's like I won by default. It's like everybody else that started with me in this business and even started many years after have quit. I don't mean just like quit the company and went somewhere else. I mean like quit the industry, like they couldn't, they couldn't hack it or whatever. That's not the point. But that this idea of purely by just not quitting, and I have to add enduring, because you can just hang around and not do anything, but by merely just not quitting and just moving forward a little bit, kind of the tortoise and the hare, that's another analogy you can use. It's very similar. Has a lot to do with success. Now, I don't think you should focus on just that. You shouldn't say, well, I'll just not quit and I'll move a little bit forward. Well, it'll take you a long time. But that is kind of the first step. That's like the knot at the end of it. In fact, I didn't put this in the knowledge base, I didn't put this in the Epiphany, which you're watching the video. And of course, there's a lot more content on the Epiphany, on the knowledge base, than there's what I'm going to tell you today. I'm going to keep this video hopefully under about 5 or 6 minutes. But one of the ones that's not on there is this idea that I always thought of was this me not quitting and inching forward, which is essentially Fortitudine Vincimus, is like the equivalent of putting a big knot, tying a big knot at the end of that rope, so that when you're trying to climb that rope up and maybe you slide and you scrape your hands, but boom, you can catch on that big knot at the end of the rope so that you don't actually completely fall out of the sky, fall out of the ceiling, so to speak. So then you can just regroup and start up again. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips in terms of this not quitting, this resurgence, this reviving. There's a whole section here called pros or comeback artists. I won't do that in this video. I'll let you read that. But the second part is called regroup, recharge, charge. And I'm going to give you some that I think are pretty interesting. You might expect a lot of psychological tricks, 17 levels deep of pseudo-psychology, introspection, and I actually believe in some of that. I think sometimes in America, psychology gets a bit poo-pooed, when in reality it is important. But at the same time, sometimes the people overdo it too, I think. It's just all psychological. You can think your way to success. And that's all, of course, nonsense. So there's in between. But what I'm going to give you today is actually not very much psychology. Some actual practical things you can do when you are in the doldrums, when you are having a bad time of it. And I mean, like you've been in the doldrums for like a month. I mean, just because, you've had a bad day or even about a week, that doesn't mean you're down on your luck. That's normal. So some things you can do when you're not wanting to go forward, right? You're not wanting you are, I'm not saying necessarily wanting to quit, but you're kind of getting there. It's starting to cross your mind. So here we go. Number one, this is actually the most important one. Take inventory of your success so far. An easy way to do that is if you have the client's worksheet, or if you have some other method where you can see your clients. I don't mean just like a listed American funds, but I mean like a more comprehensive, where you have like, their investment, their dollar amounts and the monthly packs and all that. That's what the client's worksheet is. I'm not trying to plug the client's worksheet. I'm just saying that is a great tool for that. And that's one reason I have it for myself, be honest with you. And it's a reason I always have it open. It's one of my permanent tabs in my virtual workspace in Chrome, because I can click over to it. And I don't have a lot of accounts compared to you guys. But I've got 50, 60 accounts, active accounts. And, I see them all, and I see the totals and the total packs and the total account values, the number of accounts, and it does motivate you a little bit. You're like, hey, these are people I've helped, and this is active. This isn't accounts from 5 years ago or accounts that either pulled their money out or went somewhere else. So you want to have some kind of list, some kind of something where you have that. That's one of the absolute best things you can ever do when you're down and out, is to take inventory, take solace, if you will, from the other people that you felt. I have the opportunity, and I to have to be able to look at our team. And one of the reasons I always track my numbers so well isn't just to track them and improve them. That's number one reason. But one of them is to say, wow, this is what we've built now, or we've helped build. Okay. And so for me, because for me, my advisors are my clients, right? And it's pretty exciting. It's like, even when we get down and out and we get, frustrated and things aren't happening the way they should, I look at those numbers, which I do almost every day, makes a difference. So that's number one. Number two is clean up your stuff. This helps more people than others, but even people that aren't normally tidy and organized, even those people that even are others consider to be a little bit messy, and they actually can still benefit from this. So here's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about physically cleaning. What I'm saying is clean up your email, your calendar entries, voicemails, texts, your tasks, all the different tools we have. In a Parsonex, we have Gmail, we have Google Calendar, we have Google Keep, we have Google Tasks, we have, Google Drive. Just going through that and cleaning it up, getting your inbox to zero. I know people fight that. I'm telling you, try it and get your calendar cleaned up. Events that you aren't going to go to, say no to them. Don't just let them sit there. Events you're going to go to, RSVP yes to them. Don't just let them sit there. Things like that. Clean up your texts, archive your texts on your phone, and I'm not talking about just Parsonex stuff. I mean, just in general, just kind of, it is just like when you clean your home, you clean your garage, or you clean your car out, right? Even the messiest of us, when we're done with that, we feel better. It's like a revival. Sounds silly, but this is where the whole idea of showering and bathing came from many, many centuries ago, but not thousands of years ago. It was this Puritan idea that you had when you bathed, you cleaned the sins off of you, and you had a chance to restart. And all of us feel a little better about that. Wake up, and then we have our coffee or what have you, and then you take a shower and you feel revived. It's not just the water; it's the whole thing. So don't poo-poo that one. The next one is similar but a little bit deeper, and that is clean up your contact database. Clean up your Google Contacts or whatever you use. Actually, we all use Google Contacts. Some of us just use other tools in addition to that, because your phone and your Gmail and Google Docs and Google Calendar all work on contacts. So your clients end up there anyway. But start with that. Put the clients in the right label. Put the prospects in the right label. Just move them around, clean them up, delete old ones. If they're not clients anymore, get rid of them. All that type of stuff. Spend time doing that. All this stuff, by the way, some of this is on some other parts of the knowledge base. The links are in here. Okay, now the next one is reevaluate and reset business goals. And we have that. I forget which module it is. Actually, let me tell you. I can tell you real quick. It is Epiphany number. Oh, geez, in the wrong section. Here we go. It's Epiphany number 6. Okay, reset them. Maybe you need to make them harder. Maybe you make them too easy. Maybe you're too ambitious. Reset the goals. Use the commissions calculator and the goal setting calculator in the master spreadsheet to help you with that. And even if it ends up being the exact same goal you had before with the same game plan, just redoing it and reconfirming the numbers is a big deal. That one's huge. That's all part of the cleanup, by the way. This is all part of that. It's just tidying everything up, taking inventory of where you're at. Now we get to the first one and the last one, if you will, the only one of this list that is an actual action statement, positive action. But I still think the first one's almost the most important, which is take inventory of what you've done before. So here's the last point to help you get out of your doldrums, get positive, get going. And this is the only one. Actually, I guess this is the most important, but okay. And that is recontact your existing clients, which you've already done, right? You've already evaluated the clients, you've taken inventory, and you've also cleaned up the databases, right? You put them on the right in your newsletter, okay? Recontact your clients. Now, here's the thing, and send them a nice card or email thanking them for being a client. And if you want, you can gently ask for referrals, but the main thing is thanking them. That's it. And we don't have it written here, but here's what it basically is. Hey, just want to reach out. This is not a marketing message. Just want to reach out. You can even say to them, I'm taking inventory of my clients, And I just want to say thank you for being my client and for believing in, the world's great companies. And pretty much that's it. Just try that. It's basically gratitude is what you're doing. Okay. So all the stuff here is cleanup, reevaluating goals, and gratitude. And if you do that, I promise you that will help you regroup, recharge, and then charge. And ultimately, sometimes you just win by endurance, man. You just conquer because you're never giving up. And that is, of course, today's epiphany, which is Fortitudine, Vincimus.